Good evening, everyone. I'll call the City Council to order at 8 o'clock on Monday evening, May 6, 2024. This meeting is being recorded. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We have 15 items on this evening's agenda, and I will ask the clerk to please read agenda item number 1.
Minutes of the City Council meeting, April 22nd, 2024.
Councilor Brown.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move to accept and place on file the minutes.
Motion made and seconded to accept and place on file the minutes. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? The minutes are filed 10-0. Agenda item number 2.
Now is the time for the public hearing of the proposed zoning ordinance amendment to Chapter 650 zoning relative to updating provisions regarding medical and adult use marijuana. Order number 24-100-9136.
Okay, this public hearing will be taken up in 4 stages. First, the public speaking in favor, starting with the applicant. Second, questions from the public. Third, public speaking in opposition. And finally, questions from the City Council. So we'll open the public hearing with the public speaking in favor. Please come on up and state your name and address for the record.
Thank you, Mr. President. My name's Katie Roby. I'm the City Council Urban Affairs Chair and wrote most of this document. My address, 97 Hudson Street in Marlborough. While this 11-page document makes it look like there are a lot of changes, it is really a pretty simple set of amendments to add in new types of marijuana businesses and update the citing of the CCC regulations, the Cannabis Commission. For those not familiar with what is in the code, I can offer a brief history. In 2014, the Council voted to amend Chapter 650 to add a new Section 32 called Medical Marijuana Treatment Centers, regulating where they could be located and that they required a special permit. When Question 4, legalized marijuana in Massachusetts, was on the ballot in 2017, Marlborough's voters supported the change, 9,416 in favor and 8,536 opposed. The Council amended the code in 2018 to not prohibit sales of adult-use marijuana in the city, but to regulate where it could go, again requiring a special permit. The code was amended to add some new uses which also required a special permit: medical and/or adult-use marijuana cultivator, independent testing lab product manufacturer, or transporter. In November of 2021, Mayor Vigent proposed amendments, but they were put aside waiting on further revisions by the Cannabis Control Commission that were in the pipeline. Things got busy at the council, and although not carried over for this administration, it was on my list of items to work on. I will advise anyone who looks over this document to do so with a copy of the current code in front of you. You might notice that the amendments in 650-32 start with A, and then it goes to A2, and you might wonder, where is A1? It's not being amended, so it's not shown. It's the same for all the missing numbered sections in C. So let's begin. I will note the amendments proposed are in 3 parts. Roman numeral 1 amends Chapter 650-17, the Table of Uses, to add in new business types: craft marijuana cooperative, marijuana microbusiness, marijuana courier, marijuana delivery operator, and marijuana research facility. Roman numeral 2 amends Chapter 650-18, the Conditions of Uses, to add those same new business types. It keeps their number to 1 of each and requires them to be fully enclosed building in a fully enclosed building, except for the transport of marijuana. Roman numeral 3, Chapter 650-32 would be amended to clean up the title to become medical and adult use marijuana, cleans up the regulation references. A2 would be amended to add in the new business uses added in 650-17 and 18. B would be amended to update definitions and adds definitions taken from the new regulations. I know it seems like there are a lot of new definitions, but you can thank Assistant Solicitor McManus for removing several of them that I had added. The CCC regulations probably have over 200 definitions, and he felt that citing the regulations meant that anybody who needed to look up something could do so by going to the CCC website and looking at all of those definitions. Chapter 650.32, Section C, includes the specific factors the council uses when determining whether to approve a special permit or not. It would be amended to add in the new business types. C9 would be amended to reflect the payment of the community impact fee is allowed to the extent of the law, and a new C18 would be added to include language on water and energy use, reduction, and conservation, something we're all concerned about in the marijuana business and any agriculture business for that fact. Chapter 650.32, Section F would be amended to include the new types of uses, and it cleans up the language on the 500-foot distance where these facilities cannot be located. Section G cites the regulations prohibiting smoking or ingesting or using marijuana in any place accessible to the public and would be amended to include the new uses. And Section I cites home occupations that are not allowed and would be amended to include the new business types. Chapter 650.32, Section K would be amended to reflect the new business types of marijuana delivery, which may be delivered if authorized by a special permit. Section L is new language specifying the need to have an executed host community agreement before the council can approve a special permit. And M is also new language to add into the code the hours of operation of medical marijuana treatment centers and marijuana establishments. Those of you on the council in the last administration may have noticed something that's not included in my draft that was in Mayor Vigent's draft. Chapter 650.32 specifies the number of marijuana retail business establishments shall not exceed the number that is 20% of the number of liquor licenses for off-premise alcohol consumption that have been issued by the licensing board in the city. Mayor Vigent's draft struck this language. I have not. So those are a few brief descriptions. I would urge the City Council to approve these changes in the hopes that once they are approved, we can fill some of our vacant space with entrepreneurial businesses that want to come into the city and use these new types that have been approved by the Cannabis Commission.
All set, Council Roby?
All set.
Any other members of the public speaking in favor? Any other members of the public speaking in favor? Any other members of the public speaking in favor? Hearing none, I close that portion of the public hearing. Any questions from the public? Any questions from the public? Any questions from the public? Hearing none, I close that portion of the public hearing. Any members of the public speaking in opposition? Members of the public speaking in opposition? Any members of the public speaking in opposition? Hearing none, I close that portion of the public hearing. Are there any questions from the city councilors? Councilor Doucette.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Katie, you've done a lot of good work here, and we were working through this prior in Urban Affairs, and in the middle of this, the federal legislation is changing the classification of the marijuana from a Schedule C to a Schedule A, I believe. I believe that that's going to impact what this is, but I'm not sure what that impact's going to be. I just wanted to put it out there.
I would guess that the only impact that it would make the banking issues that businesses currently have now. Most banks will not allow them to use credit and debit cards. It's all a cash business.
Interstate commerce. Yeah.
Making it turning it into a different category in the drug world, I think will open up that it should not, we're not specifying whether it's a Category 1 or Category 2 in any
No,
of
no,
the
no,
language
no, no,
of
no,
the
that's not, I know,
CCC, so-
that's not what I'm saying, but what, basically, the Schedule A to the Schedule C, you know, it does, the financial issue of this, meaning you can't use a credit card or a debit card from another state, it's because you can't, because of this schedule, the way it's currently scheduled, you can't transfer marijuana across state lines.
Right,
Okay, and that also includes financial commerce as well.
yes.
Okay, so when this whole thing settles and the feds come down and they set up the new world order, which is changing the chaos that's here now, some point in the future, you're going to be able to walk into a Walgreens and CVS and possibly pick up a prescription for marijuana.
I
That's
don't
the
know that
end
you
game.
will, my understanding through what this Cannabis Control Commission has for regulations, that will not happen unless
think that-
they update their regulations.
Absolutely.
And they
And-
could,
Right, when the feds change their rules, the CCC has to respond to that.
and they may
And they will.
choose to keep them exactly like they have.
We'll
But
see, we'll see.
I would guess that the harder step will be at the federal level.
Absolutely, well, we'll see what happens later this year.
Yes.
Now, for delivery service, the other question I had, as far as delivery service, are the businesses doing delivery, are they based in Marlborough, or are they being delivered to Marlborough?
It's unclear to me. I would guess that they could be like a livery service, but I guess we could get that clarification from the solicitor if in fact they have to have a Marlborough business entity, Marlborough address, and
Right.
then deliver from that.
Right, because there's delivery services now based in other municipalities that technically can deliver here. At least that's the impression I get. So we've got to get that cleared up, that's
Yeah,
all.
it's
Okay.
my understanding nobody's delivering in Marlborough, but again, I could be
I
wrong.
think a license to deliver gives you the license within the state, but I'd like to get that clarified. So, thank you, that's all.
Thank you, Councilor Doucette. Any other questions from the city councilors? Questions from the city councilors? Questions from the city councilors? Hearing none, I close that portion of the public hearing and the entire public hearing. This item is in urban affairs. Thank you, Councilor Roby. Agenda item number 3.
Communication from Council President Ossing regarding proposed ordinance amendment to Chapter 125 by deleting Section 10C, granting the mayor authority to waive any 2 steps of the salary schedule, and also deleting 18A4, allowing the mayor the authority to grant an additional week of vacation time effective at the time of employment for all non-union personnel.
Councilor Naven.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move to refer to personnel and to advertise.
Motion's made and seconded, refer to the Personnel Committee and to advertise. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? It's going to personnel and advertise. Votes 10-0. Agenda item number 4.
Communication from the mayor regarding appointment of Christine Purple as Human Resources Director for a 3-year term to expire from date of council confirmation, along with notification of temporary appointment pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 41, Section 61A, effective April 29, 2024, for a 60-day term.
Councilor Naven.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move to refer to personnel, please.
Motion's made and seconded, refer to the Personnel Committee. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? It's going to personnel, 10-0. Agenda item number 5.
Communication from the mayor regarding grant acceptance in the amount of $12,916 from the Department of Conservation and Recreation, awarded to the Conservation Department to be used to support the construction of a pedestrian bridge over Millham Brook on the Panther Trail.
Councilor Irish.
Thank you, Mr. President. Motion to approve the grant, please.
Motion's made and seconded to approve the grant. Is there any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Grant is approved, 10-0. Agenda item number 6.
Communication from the mayor regarding grant acceptance, the amount of $22,500 awarded to the Department of Public Works for construction of new welcome signs at the entrances of the city as part of the fiscal year 2024 state budget earmark funding.
Councilor Irish.
Thank you, Mr. President. Motion to approve the grant, please.
Motion's made and seconded to approve the grant. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? The grant is approved, 10-0. Agenda item number 7.
Communication from the mayor regarding proposed fiscal year 2025 operating budget in the amount of $196,593,381, which represents a 4.68% increase over the fiscal year 2024 appropriation, along with proposed ordinance amendments to the City Code, Chapter 125, Personnel, Section 5, Preparation of Classification Descriptions, and to Chapter 125, Personnel, Section 6, Salary Schedule for new and existing positions.
Counselor Irish.
Thank you, Mr. President. Motion to refer to the Finance Committee and to advertise the public hearing for May 20th, 2024, please.
Motion's made and seconded to refer the budget to the Finance Committee and to advertise a public hearing for the budget for May 20th, 2024. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? The budget's going to Finance, and we're going to hold a public hearing on May 20th. Vote is 10-0. Agenda item number 8.
Communication from City Solicitor Jason Grossfield regarding release of restrictive covenant, 66 Village Drive in proper legal form, order number 24-100-9137.
Counsel Roby.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move this to agenda item number 15.
Motion made and seconded to move this item down to agenda item number 15. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? It's going to number 15. The vote is 10-0. Agenda item number 9.
Communication from the Retirement Board regarding Mass General Law, Chapter 32, Section 103J, cost of living increase. COLA.
Counselor Irish.
Thank you, Mr. President. Very good information that was included. The Marlborough Retirement Board and the city continue to make steady progress towards their goal of fully funding the retirement system, so that was good to see that by 2028. Motion to approve the cost of living base increase to the amount of $14,000, please.
Motion made and seconded to approve the COLA increase from $13,000 to $14,000. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Vote 10-0. Agenda item number 10.
Application for renewal of junk dealer second-hand dealer license for Roman Kimyargaroff, DBA Arthur & Son Shoe Repair, 107 Main Street.
Councilor Landers.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have received the query information from the Chief of Police. So, Mr. President, I'd like to move forward and get a vote on approving this license or application.
Yep. Just make sure your mic's on, that's all.
I thought it was. Should I repeat it?
So motion, you received the Corey report, you're making a motion to approve the junk deal license for Arthur and Son.
That's true.
Motion's made and seconded. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing, very good. Good. Councilor Doucette.
Thank you very much. I just want to say that they're one of the few people around the city, around the area, that actually does work on shoes. So that's amazing. I have a pair of shoes that are decades old, and they're the only ones keeping it alive. So I just got to plug them for that. They're great.
Sounds like an endorsement.
Motion made and seconded to approve the junk deal license for Arthur and Son. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor? Opposed? The junk deal license is approved. 10-0. Agenda item number 11.
Application for renewal of junk dealer second-hand dealer license TVI Inc., DBA Savers at 222A East Main Street.
Councilor Landers.
Well, thank you, Mr. President. Now, this next one, they have a lot of clothes down there, a lot of shoes, and a lot of items that you might be interested in, Councilor. But my recommendation is, where we have received the query information and everything's lining up fine, that my recommendation, Mr. President, would be to approve the renewal of the second license down at Savers.
So motion made and seconded to approve the Savers junk deal license with the waivers and conditions that were submitted as well.
That's right.
Motion made and seconded to approve the Savers junk deal license along with the waivers and conditions. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? The Savers junk deal license is approved. 10-0. Agenda item number 12.
Minutes of boards, commissions, and committees.
Mr. President?
Councilor Doucette.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Motion to accept and place on file the minutes of the boards, commissions, and committees.
Motion made and seconded to accept and place on file all the minutes. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? The minutes are approved. 10-0. Agenda item 13.
Claims.
Councilor Brown.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move to send the claims to legal department.
Motion made and seconded to send the claims to the legal department. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Claims are going to legal. 10-0. Reports of committees. Councilor Irish.
Thank you, Mr. President. Finance Committee met on April 29, 2024. Meeting convened at 7 p.m. We had one item on the agenda that evening. It was order number 24-100-91146. Communication from Mayor Dumas, together with a transfer in the amount of $2,784,983 from free cash to capital outlay to fund capital items for the police department, fire department, inspectional services, and Department of Public Works. Chair Irish read the communication from Mayor Dumas requesting the use of free cash for items requested by the police, fire, inspectional services, public works department, explaining the importance of the timely purchase of the items for cost savings and efficiency. Individual managers joined the mayor in a well to address to the below request. Inspectional services, $300,000, records imaging and conversion services. Police department, $280,500 for 4 police cruisers, $35,983 for taser replacement, $5,500 for bulletproof vest replacements. From the fire department was $100,000 fire station alerting system, $70,000 radio box replacement. Public Works was $1,993,000 to replacement of aging vehicles and equipment. The Finance Committee voted approval of the transfer from free cash to capital outlay as requested in the amount of $2,784,983, as outlined in the letter from Mayor Dumas in the letter of April 18, 2024. The vote carried 5-0. Finance Committee did recommend a suspension of the rules this evening. That vote carried 5-0, so I will be asking for a suspension this evening, Mr. President.
Chairman has asked for suspension of the rules. All those in favor of the suspension? Opposed? Suspension carries 10-0. Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the recommendation of committee to approve the transfer, please.
Motion made and seconded to approve the transfer of capital equipment in the amount of $2,784,983. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? The capital request transfer is approved, 10-0. Anything else?
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to ask a suspension this evening to accept the communication from Mayor Dumas, and I believe the clerk, Kerrigan, has that letter.
Chair has also asked for a request for suspension to bring in a communication from the mayor. All those in favor of the suspension? Opposed? Suspension carries 10-0. Ask the clerk to please read the letter.
Dear Council, President Ossing and Councilors, on Thursday, May 2nd, 2024, I submitted to the City Council my fiscal year 25 proposed operating budget in the amount of $196,593,381. I am submitting a revised fiscal year 25 budget, total of $196,610,886, that includes additional monies to the part-time administrative assistant to the City Council, account number 11110002, 50401, part-time administrative assistant, should reflect the total of $27,505. Please do not hesitate to contact me with any questions. Sincerely, J. Christian Dumas, Mayor.
Councilor Irish.
Thank you, Mr. President. Motion to approve the revised FY 2025 budget totaling $196,610,886. That includes the additional monies to the part-time administrative assistant to the City Council, please.
I'm going to ask that you reconsider that motion. That motion should be to refer to finance. Otherwise, you've just approved the entire major budget, and he'd be very happy.
Thank you, Mr. President. Motion to refer to the Finance Committee.
Motion made and seconded to refer the communication to the Finance Committee. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? The communication's going to Finance, 10-0. Anything else you'd like to admit?
Thank you,
Councilor Irish.
Thank you, Mr. President. Public service announcement, the Finance Committee will be meeting on May 13th, May 14th, May 15th, and May 16th, 2024 at 6:30 p.m. To take up the proposed FY 2025 budget. I'd also like to read a communication from the city solicitor. Thank you to him for sending that to the City Council. As you know, the City Council has 45 days from receipt of the annual budget to act on any amount recommended by the mayor. Mass General Law, Section 44, Section 32. The mayor submitted the annual budget to the City Council on May 2nd, 2024. The City Council received the budget on the same day via the Office of the City Clerk, pursuant of Mass General Law, Section 4, Section 9. When the last day for the performance of any act authorized by the statute falls on a Sunday, it may be performed on the next succeeding business day. Accordingly to Monday, June 17, 2024, is the last day for the City Council action for the proposed above referenced 40-day period. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilor Irish. Any other reports of committees? Councilor Roby.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Urban Affairs and Housing Committee met on Monday, April 29th. We had 2 items on our agenda. Order number 24-100-9099, the application for a special permit from Alta Behavioral Health LLC to operate a non-residential outpatient facility licensed under 105 CMR 164 as a substance abuse treatment program in an existing building at 400 Donald Lynch Boulevard. Present were attorney Andrew Tyne and Aristotle Nicolau, the Alta Behavioral LLC co-founder. The meeting started and the chair read through the comments of the managers. Conservation Board of Health and the Fire Department had no comments. Police Chief Georgie stated his initial concern regarding the safety at the facility and potential for outside congestion were addressed in D8 language, where the facility will be locked during the hours of operation and the waiting area will be inside the facility to minimize the potential for loitering. Building Commissioner Tway stated he would defer to the city solicitor for the determination of requested relief for dimensional requirements, and city engineer DePercio asked that the dimensional requirements of Chapter 650-31C that are not met be documented in the decision. The chair stated the amended draft special permit language clarifies the dimensional waivers. The chair read the April 11th, 2024 legal opinion from Assistant Solicitor McManus that the City Council may grant a waiver of the zoning requirement. The chair reviewed the petitioner's draft decision on a special permit and noted the date of today's meeting would be added in Section 7 of the findings and noted in the yellow highlighted language in Section 9 delineating the dimensional requirements. In the conditions, the new plans provided by the petitioner should be included as exhibits and added as appropriate to Condition 2 or 5. Attorney Tyne requested earlier in the evening that the special permit be changed from Alta Behavioral Health LLC to Metanoia Recovery LLC, which is owned by the same group. The request to change the name will be referred to the legal department as to its appropriateness at this late juncture in the special permit process. Counselor Vital questioned where clients would smoke. The client indicated the property owner would designate a spot away from the building which would have a disposal container. Counselor Doucette moved to recommend approval of the decision on a special permit and its conditions for Alta Behavioral Health LLC as amended. It was seconded and the vote carried 5-0, and I'm going to ask for suspension tonight to refer the decision and the related documents to the legal department to be put in proper form. The second order was number 23-109-035, a communication from Viewpoint Sign and Awning on behalf of Best Western Royal Plaza Hotel for replacement of a freestanding EMC sign at 181 Boston Post Road West. This remains in the committee, and I will note for counselors with the copy of this that the meeting adjourned at 8:48, not 8:49, not 7:49.
There's been a request for suspension of the rules. All those in favor of the suspension? Opposed? Suspension carries. Councilor Roby.
So we're requesting that this be referred to the solicitor to be put in proper form.
Motion made and seconded to refer the report of the Urban Affairs Committee to the solicitor to put the special permit for altered behavior in proper form. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? It's going to legal with a 10-0 vote to put in proper format. Councilor Roby.
And I also have a suspension request to add an item to the agenda.
There's been, actually, before I do that, I'll go to Councilor Preciado.
Thank you. I'll have to excuse myself due to conflict of interest. Thank you.
Let the record reflect that Councilor Preciado will not be participating. Councilor Roby has asked for suspension of the rules to accept the communication. All those in favor of the suspension? Opposed? The suspension carries. 9 in favor, 1 abstaining. Councilor Roby.
If the city clerk would read the letter from Procopio, please.
To whom it may concern, Marlborough TOTG LLC and JW Capital Partners LLC applicants hereby request that the City Council amend the April 10th, 2023 site plan decision, order number 2223-100-8694D, for the mixed-use project at 57 Main Street, Marlborough. This request is made pursuant to the March 6, 2024 settlement between applicants and the council, as well as the March 12, 2024 order for remand in case number 23 Miss 000199. Enclosed are the following: application form, revised site plan set, including a revised stormwater management report, proposed form of amended site plan decision. Pursuant to the order, no filing fee is required for this filing. The order also requires the council to complete a meeting on these proposed modifications and issue a decision within 40 days of this submission. Thank you for your consideration and review. David Roach, engineer.
Councilor Roby.
Thank you. So I'm moved to refer this to Urban Affairs, to Site Plan, and to Legal. As you stated, the clock starts today, so we need to move.
Motion made and seconded to refer to Urban Affairs, the Site Plan Committee, and to the Legal Department. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? It's going to Urban, Site Plan, Legal with a 9-0 vote with 1 abstention. Councilor Landers, I understand you have a suspension.
Yes, I do, Mr. President. I have scheduled a meeting Wednesday, May 8th, Public Service Committee, and I had 3 people that were applying for their application, their
Okay,
license.
So, Mr. Chairman, so first we'll ask for suspension to remove from committee.
Well, that's what I'm going to get to. I'm just giving you a little background. Okay, at this point now, Mr. President, I'd like to ask for suspension because I would like to remove from the Public Service Committee because I've received the report from the chief, the query, and so forth on one of the applicants, and that was the Jerry Dumas secondhand store.
There's been a request from Council Landers for suspension of the rules to remove order number
24-100,
9149 from the Public Service Committee. All those in favor of suspending the rules to remove committee? 9-10-0, it is approved. Council Landers.
Now, what I'd like
There
to
you
do
go.
is to approve that application for renewal of a junk dealer's license.
Motion made and seconded to approve the junk dealer license for Mr. Dumas. Any discussion on that? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? It is approved, 10-0.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Council Landers. Are there any other reports from committee members? Seeing none. Agenda item 14.
Order number 24-100, 9129, transfer requests from the Economic Development Revenue Fund to the Marlborough Economic Development Corporation in the amount of $762,465 to fund the fiscal year 2025 operating budget and $150,000 to replenish the existing toolbox fund to continue support of MEDC's small business financial incentive grant programs. Recommendation of the Finance Committee is to approve.
Councilor Irish.
Thank you, Mr. President. I will take this in 2 votes, please. Motion to approve the recommendation of committee to approve the FY 2025 operating budget for MEDC in the amount of $762,465.
Motion made and seconded to approve the MEDC FY25 budget. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? It is approved, 10-0. Councilor Irish.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move a recommendation of committee to approve the $150,000 to replenish the toolbox fund, please.
Motion made and seconded to approve the increase to the toolbox fund. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? The toolbox funding is approved, 10-0. Agenda item 15.
Order number 23-100, 9137, request for release of low-income deed restriction on the unit at 66 Village Drive, over 55 condominiums on Route 20 East. Recommendation of the Urban Affairs Committee is to approve.
Councilor Roby.
Thank you, Mr. President. We have 2 documents. Do we need to take them separately, or can we approve the order and the release of the restriction?
Yeah, the order is the release, but you can take them up. We can do vote on each one if you want, but
No, I'm okay with, I would move, the committee had requested the solicitor put it in proper form. It is there now, so I would move the recommendation of the committee to approve the order and the release of the restrictive deed relative to 66 Village Drive.
motion made and seconded to approve the release. Any discussion? Everybody's good? And the order? Everybody good? All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved, 10-0. Councilor Doucette.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. First, I'd like to thank my wife for putting up with me for the last 35 years. This is my 31st wedding anniversary. And with that, motion to adjourn.
Motion made and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor? Opposed? We are adjourned at 8:34. Have a good evening, everyone. Thank you.